Welcome back, Overwatch fans, to another amazing night.
We have a fantastic match tonight, no question about it.
Oh my god, yes!
Look up a run! Make sure they can't even follow up afterwards.
And watch us down 2 in this fight thus far. Make that 3, make that 4 right now here. Dynamic team gets a 4-man tire.
Those who find the picks will save the fights, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
100 and 3 wins the primal race.
Experience tranquility.
What's up, Tranquility viewers? You are watching the Season 9 playoffs for Harmony Tier. These are your most exciting teams squaring up to see who will move forward and whose championship dreams will end tonight. Today, the Big Bang Buccaneers will be taking on Ace High in a battle of planning, execution, and patience. My name is Jonesy, and I will be your host alongside our award-winning non-staff contributor to Tranquility, Nerfed. How's it going,
We don't have
Nerfed?
to bring it up.
We're going to find every opportunity. That's what we do.
We don't have to bring up the award. It's not like it's that big of a deal. But yeah, I'm doing great, Jonesy. I'm very excited for this match because this is looking like a battle of some of the great teams remaining in Harmony Tier. These two teams, I think, have been like from the beginning just like around the same level, despite the fact that we haven't seen them play each other. I think that these teams are very, very close, and this is a match that I think for a long time, I think it's been like close in power rankings. Which one of them 7th, which one of them 6th, etc., etc. And I think that finally being able to see which one is which here is going to be really entertaining.
Totally agreed. And when we're looking at the dynasty of the Big Bang Buccaneers, it's a team that everybody with any history in Tranquility, including my short history, knows a heck of a lot about. This is a team that has a lot of resilience, a team that's able to commit to fights, even going into a lot of map 5s with the diligence and the coordination required to execute. So Big Bang Buccaneers, definitely a legend in the scene. And then you have Ace High, a really exciting team with, of course, 2 role stars, that being Vex and TIE Fighter. Looking forward to seeing how these two teams stack up when you're looking at a lot of great coordination and a lot of exciting play styles, and seeing how those square up is going to be really exciting tonight.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned it as well. These are two teams that are very familiar with the map 5. And what we see here is a bracket that I think not a lot of people would have expected. Specifically with the 1 seeds both being down here. That is a shocker. And the fact that only one of the teams from each side of the bracket gets to make it to the champ bracket. So for teams like Aimbots, Big Bang, Ace High, even Freya are making a pretty good run right now. For teams like that, seeing Flashbacks and Galactic Penguins drop down into the lower bracket, that's scary. That your playoff hopes have suddenly just not vanquished. They definitely still have a chance, but there is a lot more work to get through it then.
I love it. I think it's a testament to Tranquility, finding its stride, finding a lot of teams that are able to compete at a high level and be very close with one another. These are the kind of matches that everyone loves to see. No one likes a match that's predicted prior to it happening with perfection. So having these kinds of upsets is what makes it more exciting for all of us, the viewers. So definitely looking forward to see how everything shakes out in this lower bracket. Again, we have Big Bang Buccaneers tonight going up against Ace High, Big Bang being a 3 seed, Ace High a 5 seed. And we are jumping in here to our first map, Nepal.
This is one that we've seen quite a lot of. I think this has actually been one of the favorites in the map pool for just a starting map. There's a lot of room for interpretation on here, especially with a shifting meta. Last week we saw kind of the end of the Zarya, however with the balance patch not getting, it's been shifted to Thursday. The Zarya will still be viable tonight, which is kind of a shock for these two teams. But we've also seen stuff like the Monkey and surprisingly Roadhog comps, which have been very, very impactful on pretty much every single map.
Absolutely, and right now we're looking to start here on Nepal Shrine. Shrine, of course, being a map with a lot of open space, but an important high ground there on the capture point. This is a point that likes to see teams jumping in and jumping out of fights quickly so that they can execute on their fight plans without spending too much time in open space.
Thought was going to be going on the Bastion there. Unfortunately, we will see the swap to the standard form of this comp. As we see both teams jumping straight onto the point.
And so far, so good. We're opening up with with a massive pick onto Vex. That's going to open up this DPS line to be able to play within the pocket very aggressively without worrying about that Reaper as a threat. Again, making a tear through this tank line, finding opportunities to get damage early on, as we're seeing the front line just push forward and find the opportunities to take advantage of the high ground and win this first fight.
Yeah, the Reaper kind of plays like the off-tank in this comp, kind of surprisingly, and not exactly what you would expect from a Reaper. But yeah, they play like the off-tank. They kind of sit there to try to peel for the backline and stuff. So losing your Reaper first, as soon as the fight breaks out, is crucial, because now the entire rest of Big Bang Buccaneers are just able to engage.
Big Bang Buccaneers finding a lot of opportunities to aggress early on in these fights. We're seeing a very aggressive playstyle here, focusing on that corner, finding opportunities to shut down that front line coming from Ace High. But we're seeing Phoenix getting pressured out a little bit, looking for an opportunity to pick off one target, but losing track of the main fight. Phoenix picking off Skep, though. That's a really important pick here, as we're seeing some damage mitigation coming in. Finally, the Lucio looking for that beat, will capture it. But we're seeing some ultimates flying back and forth. Obviously, we see Nova popping this Monkey ultimate, but with dropping this Death Blossom, but getting finally no kills here. We're seeing a lot of back and forth. This fight is very scrappy, as we're seeing Vex pick up the Death Blossom. Are they going to use it here? They will. Vex mining 3, an absolutely massive ultimate, and taking this point here back from Big Bang.
This is like a GOATS fight. The amount of ults we just saw dumped into that fight. Well, we saw practically everything dropped from Ace High just to secure the point. Big Bang will hold on to the Kitsune and the Overclock, which are going to be very important ults for opening up the point for them again. But on the other side, Ace High do still have the Overclock, as they are just building up to their first one for Sep.
Absolutely. You love to see Ace High taking advantage of open space, and we're jumping into the fight very quickly. Big Bang Buccaneers coming in very fast, pushing through that cornerstone. Now we have Jewish Missile taking out Vex. That's an important piece of damage gone from that team. Taking down Nova. We're moving forward. These Sojourners just flying around is so incredible to watch, as another Sojourn is taken down in the form of Skep. And finally, we're seeing Big Bang Buccaneers shift the momentum quickly back in their favor and capping this point, 60% and counting with the lead.
Yeah, I mean, I would be very surprised to see Big Bang lose a fight when they have the Kitsune, with the way that they're playing right now. They're just playing such a fast style, and the Kitsune just allows that to be so well, so greatly played, and it plays so well into their favor.
Absolutely. And now Ace High with a slight ultimate advantage here, moving into this fight. Vex taking down That's a massive pick. But can the ultimates from Big Bang Buccaneers turn this fight's momentum around? We'll see, as Skep finding an opportunity to really pressure this front line to take some duels that maybe they ought not to be taking. But Big Bang finding opportunities to make these pickoffs without losing anything in their core. We see Jewish Missile diving in, diving out. looking for opportunities. Vex will take down Jewish, though, as we're looking, this late fight is starting to trend in the direction of Aces High.
Use the beat!
And with the beat coming in, a very interesting choice here, but perhaps necessary, as Yuno is committing the Death Blossom but getting pressured off point. Phoenix taken down is going to definitely sell this one. Ace High taking the point back, 99% on the side of Big Bang, but Ace High looking to see if they can close out this map with a couple more fight wins.
Ace High were able to, or sorry, Big Bang rather, were able to draw out ults though. Ace High ended up popping both the both the Primal and the Beat rather, as well as opening the fight with the Overclock. So now they're just sitting here with a Kitsune Blossom, which has been a very impactful duo, but they won't use it here. They'll just pop the Blossom to start the fight.
And that Blossom is just creating so much momentum for them. They're able to go in, and Lexi with some incredible headshots, able to find 2 pickoffs with the headers. You love to see it from this Kiriko play. And finally, looking at closing out this fight as this 83% and counting, but the fight is going to end here. We're expecting to see Big Bang capping this point and closing out this first point. Let's see if Ace High can turn this momentum around.
Yeah, it's looking like it's just going to be a stall here from Ace High. But with the last final touches, they will be able to draw it out a little bit longer. Vex will touch the point, and eventually Hypno as well. But this is very likely going in favor of Big Bang here. From that first round, it seems like Vex needed to play a little bit more cautiously. They got picked first in a lot of fights. And like I said, the Reaper is one of the most impactful characters in this comp. Being able to peel for your backline, as well as putting pressure on the Monkey, the other Reaper, and the Sojourn to stop them from engaging, that is very, very, very important. And when Ace High doesn't have that, it makes it a lot harder for them to be winning some of these fights.
It's interesting to see as we're watching these, I think you're hitting the nail on the head, but also you see Big Bang Buccaneers, it's almost as if they're not necessarily playing for the current fight, they're playing for next fight. And that's getting them a lot of traction in these ultimate economies, just like you pointed out, prior to that final fight where Jewish Missile was able to push in and find the pickoffs after the damage from Yuno and able to finalize some of those kills on the side of Lexi. But we're already jumping into the next map here. We're looking at Village, and we see, again, Big Bang Buccaneers trying to take the middle of the map, but Jewish Missile being taken down by Hypno. That's a critical piece of the puzzle here. Big Bang Buccaneers are going to be forced to be pushed back to their spawn. And it looks like Ace High has established dominance here on this high ground, and it's going to take a lot of time now for Big Bang Buccaneers to come back. It should get Ace High the cap, and it should give them the ability to set the momentum of the next fight.
Ace High, or Big Bang rather, had good positions there. I liked having Phoenix on the off angle on the Sojourn, and the rest of the team just kind of playing down main. But as we'll see both teams kind of playing more for the point on the second fight, Big Bang kind of have control, and we're looking to see Ace High how they can retake the point.
Absolutely, Skep with an incredible headshot onto Yuno, but Yuno responding in kind to Vex. So we're looking at 2 Reapers down now, and it's all about hitting shots here. Let's see what these Sojourns can do as they no longer have the Reaper to contest with. Building up their laser beams off of the enemy tank line, and then blasting the heads of the squishies on the enemy team. Let's see which team can find those opportunities to hit those shots. An incredible beat coming from the side of Dae. Looking for an opportunity to shift the momentum now. We see a beat now from the side of Aces High. Vex taking down Yuno, a very aggressive player, but finding their stride now as we're seeing the momentum shift in this favor of Aces High. But with the cap going on the side of Big Bang and Phoenix being taken down from some self-inflicted damage, we're seeing some very important momentum actually coming from the side of Big Bang Buccaneers, able to get at least 20% off of this one. That's a critical cap and a lot of time wasted from them.
Yeah, Ace High being willing to just dump both support ults into there to completely turn the momentum of the fight and completely shift the tempo in their favor, that's very important. A lot of these fights rely on the tempo, especially with the Monkey being the primary tank in this meta. That the tempo is what's most important here, I think. And so, being able to kind of control the meta for Ace High will shift the fight. Oh, Phoenix down already, though.
Totally important, and with that headshot coming from the Kiriko on the side of Ace High in the form of Vig, that's an incredible start to the fight. But we do see both DPS ultimates committed there on the side of Ace High. There may have been an opportunity to save some of those. Again, we're talking about ultimate economies here. Now we're seeing Phoenix on the side of Big Bang with their ultimate, as well as Lexi showing her ultimate on Kiriko. This is going to be a fight likely going the direction of Big Bang unless there's some aggressive plays from the side of Ace High. But as we're unfolding here, We're looking to see, again, the Kiriko committing ultimate there, and we're finding Phoenix, finding the headshot onto Vex. That's a critical pick, obviously, early on here. Phoenix with another one, Phoenix with a third, but getting taken down. So it looks like we're finding some damage mitigation coming from the side of Ace High, but this fight's going all Big Bang here.
Yeah, it did go all Big Bang there, but you wonder about Dai popping the beat there at the end. It looked like they were just cleaning up the fight to be able to capture. But unfortunately, Dai decides that they need the beat there. Which, like I've said, the ultimate economy has been kind of turning the tides of some of these fights. Being able to draw out crucial ults like that has been like substantial for both of these teams.
Absolutely, and we're seeing a 1v1 of the Sojourns. You love to see it, but now with some support from Ace's high tank line, it might chip the favor, and it does. Nova with an incredible big rank play, able to help out that one-on-one, and Yuno committing the Death Blossom, but unable to find any kills as we're seeing Nova just pressuring out these DPS on the side of Big Bang. Nova finding their stride here in this fight, as Skep looks to turn things around with a couple laser beams of their own. And we're seeing just some incredible gameplay here coming from Ace High, able to play aggressively and able to capitalize on those targets that are finding themselves out on their own on the side of Big Bang.
Yeah, I said it last round that Vex needed to play a little bit more passive. Here it's Yuno. Yuno unfortunately has just gotten juggled with every single one of his ults. He's gotten picked a couple times. So I think Yuno has to... Oh, they C9, no!
Oh, and a C9 from the side of Big Bang Buccaneers, who needed to touch the point there in order to keep the map going there, but we're seeing a 74 to 100% on the side of Ace High. Potentially some miscommunication there. It'd be interesting to see. I think Big Bang Buccaneers on round one, map one, excuse me, of this map are showing a lot of coordination and the ability again to plan for the next fight. I think here we saw just a couple key mistakes that ultimately find that same level of strategy not winning its way out and finding the point win. So we're going to a third one. Both of these teams showing their true colors here. Not only do they like to go to map 5s, they like to go to point 3s as best they can in these. It's going to be a long night, Nerfed. I hope you have some tea, as our voices are going to get lost by the end of this.
Yeah, I don't want to caster curse it, but judging by just this map alone, I would not be surprised if we went the distance. Both teams running for the both teams running to the ledge as we see the fight break out already.
And a really great start with that Suzu there. Suzu's from both sides, able to mitigate an incredible amount of damage. Yuno getting very low and finally being taken down. It looks like Ace High able to use the natural map geometry in order to pressure out this Big Bang Buccaneers team. Nerfed, what is going on in this fight so far?
It just seems like, I don't know, it seems like Ace High just have a better idea of how they want to take the fight once it has started. We're seeing, a full swap onto the Zarya comp from the Big Bang Buccaneers. This has been something that they have thrived at in the past. So it'll be very interesting to see how they make this work, as the Zarya is still viable as of this patch, as well as the Genji.
It's going to be very exciting as we're squaring up here again on the high ground. It looks like Big Bang trying to pressure into this high ground, but Skep with a critical headshot onto Phoenix. That's an important pick off early on, as we're seeing the Baptiste here in the form of Lexi finding some opportunity with the immortality field to then reset the tempo of the fight. But they're going to need to get out of here, as they need to have their full fifth if they're going to pressure this. But looking to see if they can't get some more
getting a Jewish
onto the area, but it looks like Jewish Missile just overstaying his welcome a little bit here in the fight, as Nova finds an opportunity to capitalize on that aggressive playstyle. Nova really showing their incredible ability to find opportunities to pick off tiny mistakes on the side of Big Bang Buccaneers. I think Nova is really finding their stride here, both on the previous point and this one.
Yeah, the willingness to just pop the primal to stagger kills, as well as just like get them in the first place. Being able to find 2 there when it looked like the fight was already won and Big Bang were backing out. We'll see just some more early aggression as, oh my gosh, wow. The 5k from Vex.
What can I say? I mean, just an incredible combo there, and able to shut down a couple of ultimates on the side of Big Bang. But Big Bang kind of okay with that, as they wanted a fast fight, as they're coming up on a lot of ultimates here. Again, playing for the fight. With Hypno falling off the map somehow. Kind of an interesting question mark on that one. We're going to need to review that one in post. with Big Bang Buccaneers taking advantage of that downed member on Ace High, but Skep evening the playing field.
Still find the first pick.
An opportunity. This fight is not lost yet on the side of Ace High, despite the hilarious throw from the Lucio. Jewish Missile finding a kill though onto Vex. Maybe this can open up the fight for them. Again, the ultimate's finally coming online on the side of Big Bang Buccaneers. Skep finding 2 kills there with the ultimate, and this fight is looking already over on the side of Ace High.
They'll find the flip, but this just looks like it's all Ace High here. You know, pops the Blossom and does find 1. Hypno's also low as well, so this might actually be Big Bang holding on to the point here after they find the flip. In the middle of that, of all of the panic, Phoenix will touch on the Tracer as well, and it looks like we're seeing some more swaps to more stally characters coming out from Big Bang Buccaneers, as Ace High are not willing to give up this fight as well.
That's right, and with this this Nova here with a lot of HP, able to just pressure this point continuously.
Wow.
And Ace High able to win kind of through attrition here, as they're just looking to take advantage of their numbers advantage, and they will do that here on map 1. Ace High taking point 3, 2-1, and that's going to close out Nepal.
What a crazy round 3. I mean, I started saying it at the beginning. I never really got a chance to finish my train of thought, but I think Ace High kind of just have a better idea of how they want to take the fight once it has broken out. And what I mean by that is, like, once they push in, they know who they want to focus, they know what they're going to do, and they know how they're going to do it. It seems like Big Bang are kind of struggling in the sense of they're being aggressive, but it seems like it's just aggression for aggression's sake, which is not exactly the most ideal way for this for them to play the comps that they are playing.
It's interesting. You're seeing, you know, obviously a lot of plans going into the map, but what Aces High are finding their ability to do is shutting down some of those plans by looking for opportunities to single out targets and capitalize on them. You're seeing a lot of incredible plays coming from the tank line on Ace High in the form of Nova, being able to shut down some of those key targets that are finding themselves a little bit out of position, and that's critically shutting down some of the plans that Big Bang are executing early on, and that's finding Ace High the ability to just keep rolling the momentum in some of these fights. I think Big Bang Buccaneers are by no means out of this one yet, as they're looking to, you know, take a breather, allow the momentum to slow down a little bit, maybe find an opportunity to ice this enemy team through an important and critical map pick, and find some opportunities to come in with some plans that they can finally execute on, such that they don't find themselves making the same mistakes that they did here on map 1.
I mean, Nova's playing phenomenally, but you do have to wonder how much Big Bang is just in their own heads right now. They started very strong, but as the round went on, it seemed like they were just a little bit more disorganized every time a fight broke out. They've stayed composed through a majority of this season. I mean, they've been to map 5 so many times. They know what to expect there, and they know how to play it. But it just seemed right there in the early points of this match, they weren't able to hold it together. So Ace High just able to take advantage of some mistakes from Big Bang, and they will be able to take the first map.
Be interesting to see how this fight continues to unfold here, as we're still deciding on this next map. So far, so good, though. Again, on the side of Ace High, it looks like we're seeing a lot of scrappy fights here. Something that I find interesting about, you know, when you're in the thought process, you know, as a player, you know this is your last chance. There's a lot of nerves on the line, a lot of intensity going into this, as you have, you know, again, you're thinking like, okay, is this my opportunity to really make or break this season? Or am I going to play safe and careful so as to let my teammates take advantage of the opportunities that I provide to them? That's a really challenging balance, as we're seeing Ace High able to find a lot of opportunities to show individual player mechanical skill, really finding ways to execute on those. We're seeing really exciting plays coming from that team. I think Big Bang Buccaneers right now are maybe looking for, you know, a player to jump out as, you know, an aggressive player, maybe to take advantage of the opportunities that they're setting up. When we looked at that final point there on Nepal, we're seeing a Zarya composition kind of moving into a pocket slowly. Ace High are a man down at that point. So we're looking to see some aggression there, but for some reason they stay on the high ground and kind of kite a little slowly. Again, I don't know that they had the Lucio at that time. I think they were on Baptiste Kiriko maybe, or some combination there. So not able to really push in quickly. But I think we're seeing in Overwatch 2 that, you know, getting in the faces of your enemy team and getting into their backline is such a critical part of winning fights and capitalizing on, you know, having more manpower on the team at any given time. So with that in mind, it looks like we may be jumping in here very closely here, Nerfed. And what map do we have here coming up?
So our second map will be Parisio. This is one of my favorite maps to watch. I won't say it's one of my favorites to play, but it is one of my favorites to watch. I like the versatility that it offers. Especially like come third point, you see a lot of teams end up swapping up their comps, swapping up their style as well to be able to find a way to finish the third point of this map. First and second seem a lot more dive oriented, and especially in a meta where it's primarily Monkey, you will see a lot of the dive. However, third point is where things get interesting, especially with the Zarya still being in the rotation, as well as the defense. I think you can run the Zarya pretty well in the defense. So for Big Bang here, I mean, they will be starting on offense. However, their defensive round should be pretty solid. I think this is a map that plays very well into their favor, which makes sense since this is, you know, one of their map picks.
And it looks like we may be doing a brief pause here.
Yeah.
Just looking to get things all set up. We have some teams asking for just a few moments as they're getting ready for this next map. Hopefully, maybe, you know, both teams finding opportunities to, you know, conduct a little bit of team building exercises, you know, maybe jumping into a quick game of Raft, you know, finding opportunities to, you know, just really build that team chemistry as we're jumping into some of the
They're playing poker in the Discord.
That's right. Finding opportunities to take advantage of some of the new functionality in Discord. Very exciting stuff. Of course, all, you know, not for real money. Obviously, I would never
of course, never
expect
gamble.
any of these players to find themselves gambling. As we all know, we are all scot-free of that. With all that in mind, it looks like we may just jump in somewhat soon here. But speaking about Parisio, pardon my pronunciation, we are looking at a map that has, sure, it might have some open spaces, and that's going to give a lot of opportunities for a character like Sojourn to take advantage of high ground advantage, to find those headshots where they're critical. But we're also seeing a lot of, you know, little niche areas of the map where you can kind of step out of the fight for a little bit, find yourself a health pack, find a little space that you can really slow down the tempo of the fight, get your heals in so that you can reset and get back out onto the point where then you can finally, you know, press your advantage once your team is back up and running. So really like to see how these fights unfold. They often find themselves either ending very quickly if an offensive team doesn't respect the high ground advantage, or they will find themselves lasting very long as the defense has so many opportunities to hide by the wayside, again, with health packs and other little areas that they can sit and rest for a moment. We're seeing a lot of supports, again, with the ability to heal after a few moments. Of course, the new support passive in Overwatch 2. And that's going to give teams the ability to stall out some fights that maybe otherwise would have ended much quicker in Overwatch 1, even despite the fact that there's less damage mitigation now. So definitely an interesting map in that way. It's kind of like an all or nothing map when it comes to some of these points. You know, I think first point can be a really challenging one to take. Second point is kind of an offensive advantage. But then third point's, again, another really challenging one to cap. So we're jumping in here finally after our brief pause. And it looks like we are going to get started here, Nerfed.
Yeah, finally in the map. You said something during your little rant, which is that you can find the health packs. I'm still convinced that there aren't any health packs on this map, but that might just be me. 3 seconds,
Fair.
and yeah, I mean, it's hard. It is hard to find the health packs here. We'll see though an interesting start as Big Bang are running the D.Va Ana. D.Va, another character that, with the balance patch that was supposed to drop today, many speculated would be falling out of the meta. However, like I said, it did not come out today. So D.Va is still viable at the moment. Monkey does not reign supreme yet. And that also opens up some viability for characters like Ana and Genji as well. So that it should be very interesting to see something that, you know, maybe the last time this season we will see.
And good on these teams for, you know, having the patience to continue to play out the match despite the surprising, you know, lack of changes today. So hopefully we'll see, you know, the best team win out regardless of any of that. So looking at it here already, we have Big Bang Buccaneers. Excuse me, we already have Ace High taking advantage of this high ground and looking for opportunities to get some pickoffs. But already, Big Bang Buccaneers pressuring that high ground very aggressively early on, looking to displace it, but ultimately finding themselves losing HP. Vex taking Beth out of mech. That's a very critical piece of damage mitigation now gone on the side of Big Bang Buccaneers, and they're going to have to either lick their wounds or potentially even find themselves doing a quick swap and back so that they can get their mech back. It looks like BethCon will do that here as they are now resetting for a second fight.
Yeah, already. I mean, Beth goes down and immediately. You just can't take the fight. You have to back up, especially with the damage that the Sojourn and the Reaper put onto your team. Not having the peel from the D.Va there is just an automatic fight loss. I'll be honest.
Absolutely, but a much more creative front now being posed on the side of Big Bang, but Vex able to find Yuno early on, so it looks like we're going to see some interesting scrappy fights again. These fights either very quickly or very late. Hypno being taken down by BethCon. BethCon finding opportunities to capitalize on those. BethCon really showing their form here as she's able to find 2 kills, jumping around here, but Nova able to respond in the form of Phoenix, and Pug able to hit some critical shots late in the fight, able to take down Dae, and we see BethCon now just looking to keep this fight alive with a kill onto Kiriko, and looking for an opportunity for a kill onto Sojourn as well, and will find it. Beth finding 4 somehow in this fight, and yet unable to then capitalize on that space. I think Beth really showing that, you know, if Nova can do it, I can do it twice as good. So hopefully Beth will continue to find that stride throughout these fights, and the rest of her team will be able to back that up with some additional point presence.
Yeah, Beth was not willing to give up that that fight. You know, with a very early pick on the Vex, that's going to be very good for opening up this point. We'll see Big Bang take advantage of the high ground now, get their players set up, and it looks like they have a good position to start this fight.
Absolutely, and we're seeing some ultimates already coming in here now. We have Kiriko on the side of Ace High, looking to establish point presence just through that ability to buff abilities, and they're able to take advantage of it so effectively now. Even despite the early pickoff on the side of Big Bang, we're seeing a momentum shift totally in favor of Ace High. With the beat coming in a little late there on the side of Big Bang Buccaneers. We'll see if whether they can, with BethCon and with Dae here, lagging behind on the fight, whether they can continue to shift this momentum. But with a remech, this might actually stall this fight out a bit longer. Yuno getting taken down by Pug, though. That's a critical piece of the fight. No longer able to hold that point presence as we're looking to back off here, and this fight might just be over here.
Big Bang, I guess, thought that fight was winnable halfway through. I mean, they ended up popping 3 ults, when I would have just said, like, GG go next. I don't know what Big Bang saw in that fight, but it doesn't end up working out for them, unfortunately, as we'll see Ace High just being able to keep their control of this first objective.
But critically, we're seeing the Nano Blade on the side of Big Bang Buccaneers. Will Phoenix, one of the most improved players last season, show their stride here? Are they going to be able to pick off a critical number of players here? And with this, we're in here. Nano Blade, you'll love to see it. Let's see what they can find. On this build, we find the Kiriko. That's very important, as now we're jumping in to capitalize on that momentum. But BethCon, mech going down. That's a critical piece of damage mitigation now down. Vex able to find 2, and Pug as well, committing their ultimate. We're seeing just an absolute flurry of headshots here on the side of Pug, able to close out some of those kills as the fight was already over.
The DPS line from Big Bang will be swapping it up, as well as Lexi onto the Kiriko. But they just have to touch. I mean, they've been stalled out for the entirety of their time. And now, with just a touch, it's looking very shaky as to whether or not Big Bang will be able to take this point, with BethCon already out of mech.
That's right, BethCon losing mech is a critical piece for them. Again, mitigation now gone. Pug finding a headshot and a body shot, so taking out BethCon and Phoenix. Nova finding some opportunities there onto Yuno. Vex onto Dae. Vex onto Sexy Lexi as well. So we're looking at a really dominant defense here. Again, we talked about how it's either all or nothing on this map, and Ace is High, showing that they're able to find all on this defense.
Ace High's willingness to just dump the ult first, I think was what kind of won them some of the fights that looked a little bit scrappier, especially that fight where Beth kind of went sicko mode and got 4 even after the fight seemed lost. I think Big Bang needed to engage some of those fights with ults, but unfortunately they never had the proper timing where they were able to do that. The only fights where they had ults, they were getting them second. So while Ace High were able to start the fight out on an advantage, Big Bang kind of had to play back foot.
It would have been interesting to see an offense from Big Bang Buccaneers that involves a little bit less mid-fight ultimates and a little bit more saving for next fight. We saw that happening last map, and Big Bang able to really capitalize on ultimate advantage on first point of Nepal. Looking to see whether they can find that patience back again as we see what happens if you look for opportunities to turn a fight when it just isn't winnable. You know, the ultimate economy, again, as you said before, already nerfed. Very critical in Overwatch 2 as we're looking for opportunities for pickoffs primarily, and you're going to find those in your ultimates. So let's see here if we can find a tie, or if this will be 2 maps taken for Ace High.
Yeah, I mean, the ult economy is fight defining and even sometimes map defining. You know, we'll get pressured out very early, however, we'll be able to get some appeal from their team. Nova dives onto the point, and Phoenix is just immediately taken down to start this fight.
Hypno able to find a kill onto Phoenix. That's a very important boop that we're seeing there. And with Kiriko getting pressured out by Bethcon, that's a very smart move to find opportunities to pressure that backline. Bethcon shutting down the backline. That's such a smart play there, as they're able to show that this point might still be savable on this defense. But with Nova capitalizing now on the enemy backline, Ace High showing that they can continue to turn this fight here.
Nah, Beth is saying no. She is not giving up this point, and has just stalled long enough to be able to get the rest of Big Bang Buccaneers back. Unfortunately, she will go down. However, Lexi and Phoenix here are able to stall, are able to put out the damage, and it looks like they might be able to actually turn this back in their favor. Although, as I say that, Lexi will fall down. Yuno and Dae close beside them, and it will just be a cap for Ace High there.
That's right, and we saw Ace High, you know, an explosive team, able to jump in, really capitalize on some of these star players. Again, you know, with Vex and others able to find those critical pickoffs early on in these fights. Those are really setting the stage for what is becoming a momentum that Ace High able to carry over from map 1. I think Big Bang Buccaneers have a lot to think about as they work on their coordination and they work on their ultimate economy understanding throughout the rest of this match, but very, very close, a lot closer than the numbers would show, as we're seeing these fights actually lasting fairly long, with a lot of players from Big Bang Buccaneers not giving up even when the going is rough. So showing a lot of diligence there, and hopefully they can continue and find that diligence, finding them a map win as we go into our next map.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, first we will be jumping into a halftime. However, on the other side of things, hopefully we will be able to see Big Bang Buccaneers able to find their footing. And, you know, I'm not going to call it early, but, you know, beep beep.
I just wanted to... Oh yeah, he is on your side though in terms of.
I think you put that in the wrong chat, Finn. Oh. What was his message?
I think that's because he probably ended up agreeing that what they were doing was probably not the right move there.
Maybe. Are we? What's timer at right now? Okay.
Oh goodness.
Do we just keep it in halftime then?
This is the perfect time to do it. I mean, just hang out in halftime, get things taken care of. Worst case